What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Trust Your Board podcast. My name's Stephen Wright. I am joined by Mr. William Monroe, and this here is going to be the first episode of our mini mock series. If you didn't catch the last episode, what we'll be doing Monday through Thursdays moving forward, it's a quick 10 or 15 minute episode going through ideally the first 5 rounds of a mock draft. The idea being to capture some smaller, quick to digest episodes going through the top of the draft. I know that's what most people are focused on here. So we're going to jump right into it. Will, what are we doing today?
Today we are doing a 12-team PPR mock draft. Steve, you are going to be in the 4 spot, and I'm drafting out of the 7 spot.
Awesome. You ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it indeed. So things have been kicked off. Christian McCaffrey going off the board at 101, Saquon 102, and Zeke 103. No real surprises with any of those picks.
First time we saw that in a while, though. Those 3 to go in a row.
Yeah, something probably the most realistic option, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that creates a fun scenario for me here. Because usually when we're drafting this early, one of these 3 guys falls to this spot.
Yeah. Now you got to think.
Yeah, I do, because this is tough. It was a slam dunk Cook call earlier in the season, and now with all the holdout stuff, that's really not my game. I don't like playing that way.
Does Henry signing his contract give you any sway one way or the other?
Not really. I was fine with Henry no matter what this year already. The bigger concerns that it's PPR, not that like I'm going to shy away from him, but I think I like Kamara a little bit more.
Okay.
Just for the fact that it's a PPR, and I like the offense a little bit better for Kamara. There's bound to be some regression when it comes to the Titans this year. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Kamara there. And we'll see what gets to you. With Derrick Henry and then Dalvin Cook going off the board. So very wide receiver heavy here.
Running back heavy, you mean?
Yes, running back heavy. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Henry would have been tough to pass on. I'm not huge into Henry this year. Just overall, I'm not a big Henry guy, but I think the next couple of years he is gonna probably prove me wrong each year and look to be one of those workhorse backs, and as we just mentioned, he just got the bag, so he is paid now. But those top 6, I think, easy to take over the wide receivers. This is where it gets a little more interesting, especially in PPR. Michael Thomas is just so safe to start with. I don't like not taking a running back in the first round. You got the likes of Chubb, Jacobs, Mixon here still available. And then some decent running backs later on. It'd be tough. But I think I'm going to go Michael Thomas just to see what it's like. I don't think I've not taken a running back in the first round of a normal, non-super flex, non-tight end premium type of draft yet. So I'm going to go Michael Thomas and just kind of test out the waters here and see what it looks like to go wide receiver and what kind of running backs I'll be looking at with this team here. So we'll go Michael Thomas. There we go. Devontae Adams, Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Aaron Jones, and Patrick Mahomes goes off the board. Still no tight ends, just Mahomes off the board at the quarterback position. Not looking at either of those spots right now. So wide receivers, best on the board, you got Godwin, Evans, Golladay, Thielen, Cooper. Be pretty solid if I was going to go 0 RB. You can go with a Godwin here and then follow up with maybe a tight end or another wide receiver if you really wanted to. But there's still a couple RBs that I really like. I'm pretty high on Kenyon Drake. I think you are as well. I think, for me, he's probably a end of the first round type player, especially with the scarcity at the position. So I'm going to lock him in here because I think this is, he and Eckler probably the drop off of the guys I would be comfortable with as my first RB on a team.
Yeah, he's a steal here.
Yeah, I think
sure.
I'd probably take him, over Mahomes, over Aaron Jones, probably over those wide receivers too, just knowing that, I want to get that RB position locked up. I don't know where he fits in. I think I might take him over Sanders. I don't know about Mixon, Jacobs, and Chubb. But he is on a really high-octane offense, and I think he really fits that offense like David Johnson didn't last year. I think he really fits it. So, yeah, pretty easy pick here for me. Steve, who are you looking at here before I lock this in?
I'd probably go wide receiver and just hope another running back from this kind of volume-heavy tier gets back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, closer to the turn, I feel like I could play that game. But yeah, we'll probably be looking at wide receiver. We'll see what happens.
Any interest in Eckler if he falls to you?
No, not really. I'm just not. And I owned Eckler last year. Like I rode him in the championship, but
yeah, you had Eckler and CMC, right?
Yeah, and I just not this year. I don't like that offense. It scares me. It's probably more of a risk adverse kind of a deal. I think he's going to be good, but I don't think he's going to justify a second round pick.
Gotcha. Well, let's see what happens here. I'll lock in Kenyon Drake, Lamar Jackson, and Travis Kelce. So still got all the wide receivers and all the running backs available for you.
Very nice. So the wide receiver grouping is the same grouping that Will just went over, so I won't read it off again. It's really between Chris Godwin and Mike Evans for me. Kenny Golladay up there as well, but if we were going into the later bits of the draft, everyone knows I tend to target Marvin Jones a lot. So it's between the two. I really don't know which one I like more. I think I'm going to go with Evans just for the volume play, or the target volume play, I guess. I can see him getting a lot more, or not a lot more, but more targets than Evans will. I wouldn't fault you going either direction. They're both perfectly fine to me, but I am more comfortable with Godwin right now, so I'm going to lock in Godwin. There we go. We did have Eckler go after me. We had George Kittle and Mike Evans. That rounds out the second. Starting the third, we had Le'Veon Bell, Amari Cooper, and Leonard Fournette. So got all our quarterbacks except for Lamar and Mahomes, all our tight ends except for Kelce and Kittle, all the running backs pretty much that we just named outside of Evans, Cooper, and Godwin. So running backs, we got James Conner, Melvin Gordon, Chris Carson, CEH, and Ingram. I am going to turn my attention here, and I think the guy I trust the most out of this group is Chris Carson. We've seen a lot of good things from him in the past. If he can recapture that again, third round's a great price for him. He's a steal there. So pretty comfortable with him compared to everyone else here. I mean, maybe I take a shot on CEH or dig a little bit deeper for David Johnson, but I feel safest with Chris Carson right now. So we're going to go ahead and lock him in there. Cooper Kupp and James Conner go off the board before you.
All right. So still got that kind of interesting kind of next tier of our running backs. You got some older trusted guys in Melvin Gordon, Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Gurley, and you got some younger guys that maybe a little uncertain about in Edwards, Lair, Singletary. Montgomery kind of falls in his own category being younger, but you kind of know what you're getting there. There's a good bit of safe running backs here, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to lock in Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the thought that I'm going to go running back again and look for hopefully a safer guy like a David Montgomery or a Todd Gurley. David Johnson obviously probably won't make it back, but him, Mark Ingram, those players that I think are going to get the volume that I can count on in case it takes Clyde a few weeks to get used to it. So we'll see what happens here, locking in Clyde Edwards-Helaire and see which running backs will get back here. So after that, Kenny Golladay, Adam Thielen, Mark Ingram, Mark Andrews, David Johnson, Devin Singletary at the turn, DK Metcalf, Melvin Gordon, David Montgomery, and Robert Woods. The gamble pays off a bit. I mean, I'm going to be able to get another volume play in Gurley. Probably still adding some risk to the running back core of Drake, Edwards, and Gurley. But as long as two of them hit, I think I'll be okay with the safety that I'm banking on with Michael Thomas. Just taking a gander at the other position. You still have quite a few wide receivers in A.J. Brown, Calvin Ridley, Allen Robinson. So had I went a Mark Ingram or, even maybe a David Johnson, this may be a spot I look for A.J. Brown or Calvin Ridley to go with another receiver. But I think this is fairly easy here to lock in Todd Gurley and really round out that running back core / first flex option there. So go Todd Gurley. Next, A.J. Brown and Calvin Ridley goes.
Kind of happy that Ridley went because that was going to create a tough situation for me. So taking a look, I do want to add another running back. There are a lot of wide receivers that I like. That we'll get back to the fifth. Lockett, Chark, DJ Moore, Beckham, McLaurin. I mean, there's plenty of options here, so I don't need to burn a wide receiver spot here. I lock in a third running back for safety. And running backs on the board, we got Jonathan Taylor, Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Marlon Mack, Damian Williams, Darius Geis. A lot of good options, really.
Yeah.
I could grab a wide receiver and then go with another running back. I hope that like Kareem Hunt got back to me or roll with Geis. But, Jonathan Taylor's screaming out at me. We all know the talent. And hopefully that he takes over the workhorse role. If not, he's still going to be pretty valuable here as a third running back. So I feel pretty safe grabbing him. So we're going to lock him in there, see what gets back to me here. Zach Ertz, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen go off the board to round out the fourth. Starting the fifth, we had T.Y. Hilton, Juju, and then Dak Prescott. So a little bit of a wide receiver run. But as I was mentioning, still quite deep with Lockett, Chark, DJ Moore, Beckham, McLaurin all sitting there. Kareem Hunt got back to me, and that's quite tempting. Man, that's tough. But I really don't want to wait to the sixth round to grab another wide receiver, because at that point I could be looking at like Brandon Cooks, Jarvis Landry, which are fine, but I would rather have someone else. So I will go ahead. I draft DJ Moore a lot, so I'll do something different. I'll grab Chark. I like Chark a lot as well. So yeah, I'll draft him, get my second wide receiver there. This will be our last pick, Will. We're in the fifth round here already. It flies by.
Yeah, flying by here. So this time, just the rest of my outlook is probably going to look wide receiver the next few rounds. If there's a running back that really falls that I can't pass on, maybe. Or if there's a guy that is tempting, like Kyler Murray right here. I don't usually go quarterback early, but this is probably right around where he should go, right there with Dak. So maybe the next round I would be looking for him. I'm not really looking at any of the tight ends. I feel like if I don't get one of those top four, I'm probably not going to get a tight end until much later. So it's really one of those top four falling or wait till the end. So here I'm looking at the wide receiver position. The three that stick out to me, DJ Moore, Odell Beckham, and Terry McLaurin. I think Odell is kind of the more risk-reward play. And with the running backs I have, I'm not thrilled about the safety there, even though I've got Thomas. So I think I'd want to go with a safer option. And I think there's going to be volume for Moore as well as McLaurin. But Moore, I think, is a little more proven and they both don't have the best quarterback situation, but I like DJ Moore's. And he's done it with, trash last year. So I think he's going to be, fine with a decent quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. So we'll lock in DJ Moore to get that second wide receiver spot filled out. And we will see how the rest of this fifth round pans out with Odell Beckham, Russell Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, and Raheem Mostert.
There we go. So let's run down our teams real quick here. I ended up with Alvin Kamara, Chris Carson, and Jonathan Taylor at the running back position. And then Chris Godwin and DJ Chark at the wide receiver position. Overall, I really like that start. It gives me a lot of balance, so I can kind of do what I want moving forward. Could draft another running back if I want, if there's value there. Could pound out wide receiver as well to add another there. It gives me a lot of flexibility moving forward. Now, maybe the only question mark that I have is the Chris Carson area. Maybe I go with Amari Cooper there instead, knowing that... the Jonathan Taylor pick. Maybe I lock in an Allen Robinson there, knowing that Kareem Hunt would have got back to me.
Yeah.
So, there's a trade-off there, but I like Chark. I don't have him that much lower than Allen Robinson, so I'm more okay with this, but that's an interesting option for me. What do you think about your team?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I was a little worried at first going wide receiver, knowing that, I'm not going to get a second and a third running back until the third and fourth round, respectively. But I'm pretty happy. Michael Thomas just kind of makes every other pick a little easier to make because you have such safety at that spot. Usually that's your Zeke, your Saquon, your CMC guys that have that really, really, really high floor. I don't think I really would have taken anybody else over Drake, so that helped. But, maybe would I have rather taken Chubb in the first round and Godwin in the second round? Probably not. I think Thomas and Drake I like as a better pairing. Looking later, it comes down to if I'm going to want to go three running backs in a row there, since I, don't like what's going to come after the fourth round. Do I go safety in that in that third round, and then risk with like a Jonathan Taylor rookie in the next pick, right? So do I look at Clyde and Gurley or David Johnson and Jonathan Taylor? You can make an argument either way. I think the volume's probably going to be there carry-wise maybe for Taylor over Edwards, but just the overall touches and just the dynamic offense that Edwards is going to be on, I'd much rather have him and then roll the dice a little bit with Gurley's health, right? I think there's no volume risk with Gurley where there might be with Clyde to start, but as long as Gurley's healthy, I think they're going to, with a 1-year deal, they're just going to give him all the touches he can take. DJ Moore, I think, is a great pick at there. I'd love to get him in the 5th round. He's probably more of a 4th round guy.
Beautiful. Well, that's going to conclude our first mini mock here. Until tomorrow, everyone, always remember, trust your board.